Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Success Ladder Podcast, the show where we grow, we reflect, and we challenge ourselves to become better. My name is Paul Bryan, as usual, and here at Success Ladder Podcast, we inspire the world. In today's episode, I wanted to do things a little bit different. It's more about a soul reflection, a conversation about power, influence, life, and the reality that many people fear to confront. So today I want us to talk about something from power circles to personal battle. The story of Raphael Tuju. Now, Raphael Tuju was born in 1959. He's a Kenyan politician, a media professional, and a public servant for that matter. So Tuju attended a school in Siaya County, if I'm not wrong, called Majiwa Primary School, and later on joined Nakuru High School for his 4 years, and then he joined Starehe Boys Centers for 2 years. I think by then it used to be called senior levels. He also holds a master's degree, that is Master of Arts degree in mass communication from the University of Leicester in United Kingdom. In his career as a professional, Tuju worked as a news anchor for televisions. I think that was KBC, if I'm not wrong. KBC in full is Kenya Broadcasting Corporation. I think then it was the only television in Kenya. He then later joined East African Standard, if I'm not wrong. So that was in late 1980s and some parts of 1990s. So he's also a producer and a director of several documentaries for radio and television commercials. Again, it was not just local, but also for international agencies, public sectors, and private sectors. He used to write for a local newspaper, the East African Standard newspaper. Yeah. So Tuju also worked as a lead consultant in the design and implementation of several public communication programs for a number of clients, including the World Health Organization, the World Bank, Department of International Development of the British government, and also United States Agency for International Development. That was between sometime 1980s and early 2000s. So in 2002, Tuju entered politics and he was elected as Member of Parliament for Rarieda constituency, that is in Siaya County, Kenya, the Nyanza region or western region of Kenya. That was in December, the election that were held in December. If you remember that time in Kenya, that was the time that the Rainbow Coalition threw out the KANU government. So it was like a new fresh blood in Kenyan politics. So he served in this position until 2007 and managed to promote the education sector in the region. He built schools, that is classrooms, and also implemented major water projects in Rarieda constituency. These are a region where there were water problems, so he did well in that area. And he also introduced innovative mobile hospitals or mobile clinics. Remember, this was a period where malaria and HIV/AIDS was killing so many people. There were so many mortality. The mortality rate was high at that time. So the National Rainbow Coalition took power in 2003, and Tuju was appointed to the position of Minister of Information, Communication, and also Minister of Tourism and Wildlife. He became more famous in 2005 for his feud with the then Roads and Infrastructure Minister. That was Raila Odinga. So if you know very well, Raila Odinga was a very powerful, Raila Odinga passed last year, right? May his soul rest in peace. So Raila was a very powerful figure in Kenyan politics, and more so in Nyanza region. He comes from Bondo. So Bondo and Rarieda are like, they're neighbors. So in 2005 in Kenyan politics, there was a feud between the Raila Odinga-led faction and the Mwai Kibaki-led faction. Remember, there was a referendum for constitution change. So there was yes and no, orange and banana. So Raila opposed the constitution, and Tuju sided with the Mwai Kibaki-led group. So in that referendum, Raila won, like no won, yes failed. So the constitution was not passed. The referendum failed for the new constitution. So what this meant is that things were very tough, because you see, like, Raila was the political king for Nyanza region. So you had to align with him to get elected. So in 2007, he formed, actually that was I think before the referendum, he formed a party called Progressive People's Party. That was Raphael Tuju. So he was trying to go against Raila, like to compete, to bat Raila in the Nyanza region. So long and short of it, that one didn't go well. So he didn't manage to defend his Rarieda constituency parliamentary seat in the 2000 election. So he, after the 2005 referendum, he served as a Kenyan Foreign Affairs Minister. That was between 2005 and 2007, after they had issues with Raila. So I think in that period of his service as the foreign minister, he's remembered for particularly being brave when he sensibly won the European governments during the 29th Asila Cultural Festival, which were held in Morocco, I think sometimes in 2007, for establishing policies which deprived African development through trade partnership. So later on, he became the legal advisor to the president of Kenya between 2008 and 2011. Remember, that was after the 2000 election, which experienced post-election violence in Kenya. It was highly contested between Raila and Kibaki. After that, there were post-election violence. So in 2012, Tuju launched a new political vehicle for the presidency. He called it the Party of Action, but he didn't go far, because he later on joined Uhuru Kenyatta, Jubilee's party, and was elected as the party's Secretary General in 2017. He was later named by President as Cabinet Secretary, that is minister without portfolio, and he served in this position until the end of Uhuru Kenyatta's government reign in 2022, that is 2022. So Tuju was awarded the second highest civilian title in Kenya, that is EGH, Elder of the Golden Heart, by President Mwai Kibaki for his many years of service to the people. Now, the reason why today we are talking about Raphael Tuju, you see that I've given that history of Raphael Tuju, and you can see this is somebody who served as as a cabinet secretary, as a minister. He served as a secretary general to a political party, to the ruling political party, Jubilee, at that point. Now, there is something going on. He has been fighting like legal battles. He's supposed to be auctioned. His house is supposed to be auctioned because of some debts. So I don't want to go to that details because I think by the time we are recording this episode, a night before our recording session, police officers went to his house at 3 a.m. and they were moving him out of the place because of the death. So it's an auction thing. So my interest is not about the auction and all that story, but I saw his videos, I saw his pictures, I saw him having that address, and I ask myself several questions because most of the time I always take my time to have a personal reflection, and there is one thing that came into my mind, that at the end of the day, you are on your own. You can imagine all that profile. You can imagine the people that he has worked with, the people that he counted as friends. You can imagine that lucrative career that he has had. But at the end of the day, you are always on your own. Now, as we talk about this story of Raphael Tuju, I feel Raphael Tuju's history carries a lesson for leaders. It carries a lesson for professionals. It carries a lesson for entrepreneurs, politicians, and even every ordinary person trying to climb the ladder of success. Yeah, because sometimes life reminds us that power is temporary. Yeah, but the person you are, that is what is permanent. The person I am today is what is permanent. Power, friendship, our careers, our profession, all those are temporary, right? But at the end of the day, what remains is you, the person I am today, the person you are today. That is what remains. Remember, at the end of the day, you are on your own. Now, let's dig deep into the story of Raphael Tuju a little bit. Yeah, his rise. Before politics, Raphael Tuju was known in the media world. He worked as a journalist and a broadcaster for that matter. And he built a reputation as a confident communicator. If you go and dig deep into his story, he built a reputation as a confident communicator. He was one of the recognizable faces in the Kenyan media. At that time, talk about late 1980s, talk about 1990s, and all the way to early 2000 before he entered politics. So many people admired his ability to speak, his ability to analyze issues, and also to engage the public. Then later on, he made the transition that many journalists eventually make. He entered politics. I think we've seen so many journalists transitioning from journalism to politics, from media to politics. You see, as a journalist, for example, if you're working in a radio or a TV station for that matter, you get the audience. So today, because we have social media, you'll see most of the journalists, their social media followers is very huge. They have so many followers, and politics is about numbers, so it's easier for them to transition into politics. And it's from this angle, like it's from this media that made him easily enter into politics because he was already known. So he became the member of parliament for Rarieda, as he said, and his political career grew because from being an MP to being a minister. Remember the ministry he served in the Ministry of Communication, Information. Um, he also served as a foreign affairs minister. Yeah. And at that point, like literally, he was no longer just a media personality. He was part of the government. And you can see, like, I'll say government machinery, because remember when he became the Secretary General of the ruling party and during President Uhuru Kenyatta's reign. Remember, Tuju was from the Luo Nation. Luo Nation were Raila's people, yeah. So he defied all this to become Secretary General of a ruling party, and he was so powerful. At that time, I would say Tuju was a man with influence. You see, um, a man surrounded by power, a man surrounded by people, and when someone is powerful, something interesting happens. Your phone rings all the time. People want meetings with you. Everyone wants to be close to you. Everyone wants to support you in one way or another, because power attracts people. Power attracts loyalty, or at least what looks like loyalty, if I can say that, because loyalty again with power is questionable. Most of the time, people associate with you. Your phone is ringing because people know that you have power. So you're attracting people. And some of these people, they are not genuine. They're not genuine friends. So many people want to associate with you. They'll pledge their loyalty. So that loyalty, whether it's genuine loyalty or just so that I'm close to you so that I can benefit, is what actually matters. So that was Raphael Tuju, a very powerful person, somebody who was very attractive to people. Then there is this turning point of Raphael Tuju's life. You see, life has a way of changing the script. So in 2020, Raphael Tuju was involved in a very serious road accident that left him badly injured. I think he was going to attend. He was on his way to attend the burial of the second Kenyan president, Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi, and this was a moment that shook so many people, of course, because like accidents have a strange way of reminding us how fragile life reality is. As you're doing this episode, I think Kenya is mourning one of the MPs, I think a very influential figure who died from an accident. It was a chopper, right? He died from a chopper accident. So most of the time, like when accidents happen, it reminds people that one moment you are in control, the next moment you are fighting for recovery, right? So it became a long journey of medical treatment and recovery for him. During such seasons, some things, of course, happens. Your noise begins to fade. The political arena continues moving, and that is what happened to him. Because they normally say that if you're not there, nobody's going to be talking about you. So you're in hospital recovering. People will talk about when you get involved in an accident, people will get to talk about you. So one moment they are talking about you, and then after a week or so, nobody cares where you are. So that was the same case. So the political arena continued to move. New conversations began, new alliances were formed, new power centers emerged, and that is the life of politicians. So when you're not there, and for Tuju's case, the spotlight starts to shift to shift. And this is something that is not new. It's not unique in politics. It happens everywhere. In companies, in business, in entertainment, in leadership, not only in politics. When your influence is strong, the way we've said, many people walk beside you. But when the spotlight moves away, many disappear. And now that makes me want to talk about the reality of power. Now, power is powerful, but power is also temporary. And I'm not talking about politicians alone. I'm talking about everyone. I'm talking about myself. I'm talking about that leader in school, in a high school, in campus. I'm talking about that business leader. That power is a very powerful thing, but never forget that power is also temporary. The position you hold today may not be the position you hold tomorrow. The authority you have today may not be the authority you have next year. The crowd that cheers for you today may not be the same crowd that will cheer you tomorrow. That is the nature of influence. It is borrowed. You see, it is not owned. Power is borrowed. Power is not owned. And I think this is one thing that most of us normally forget. Because the reason why I'm saying that power is borrowed, it's temporary. One day you have it, the next day you don't have it. So nobody owns that power. You don't own. If you are a CEO of a company, you don't own it. Today you are a CEO of a company. Tomorrow you are not. Tomorrow you are a leader somewhere. You're leading a group. The next day you are. So you've borrowed it. You don't own it. And this is where many people actually struggle. People struggle because some people build their identity around their titles, right? And what do I mean? People build identities around their titles, saying that I am the boss, I am the leader, I am the politician, I am the CEO, I am the influencer. But what happens when the title disappears? You see, you have as much power as you are holding that title. Yeah? You have that power because you are the boss at that time. You have that power because you are the politician at that time. You have that power because you are the CEO at that time. But what happens when the title disappears? The borrowed power also goes. Power is temporary. So when that title disappears, you need to ask yourself, what are you then without that power? That is the question that many people avoid asking themselves. Today, if you have a position, yeah, you have a role, and you feel like at least I'm controlling this space, always call yourself into a self-reflection and ask yourself, what am I without this title? Who am I without the title of being a president? Who am I without the title of being a party leader? Who am I without the title of being a cabinet secretary? Who am I without the title of being a CEO? Yeah? That is the question that you need to ask yourself. Because I'm telling you, without that title that you're holding today, that power, you only have it because you have that title. When that title is gone, in the same way the power is gone. So ask yourself, without this title, who am I? Remember what you said in the beginning. At the end of the day, you are on your own. So think about not having that power. Think about not controlling people. Think about not leading anyone. Ask yourself, am I leading myself as an individual? And there comes a time where you have silent season. So every person who climbs the ladder of success eventually experiences 3 seasons. Yeah? If you are climbing the ladder of success, you'll experience 3 seasons. The first season is the applause season. This is when things are going well. People celebrate you, people talk about you, people admire you, people want to associate with you. That is the first season, the applause season, the season where people are celebrating you, the season where people are talking about you, the season where people admire you, the season where people want to associate with you, some for a good reason, some for their own benefit. But the applause season is a season where you have that power, you're very influential. Then the second season is the criticism season. Now, I call it criticism season because this is the point where people begin to question you, right? This is the season where people begin to oppose you. This is the season where people begin to challenge you and even testing your decisions, right? So this is the season of criticism. You had power. Maybe that power is going. So you get into criticism season. The criticism season is the point where people are making, maybe the power is gone or they are seeing that power going. So this is the point where they have milked you. They have taken whatever they wanted to take from you. They have benefited in all the ways they wanted to benefit from you. Now they are seeing you losing your wings. They're seeing you losing your horns. They're seeing your power being drained and you're losing it. So what do they do? They are making excuses by trying to question you. So they are questioning your decisions and everything about you. They try even to oppose you. They try to challenge you and even test your decision making. Sometimes they do that because they are looking for a scapegoat to run away from you. You've lost the power. You don't matter to me anymore. So what am I going to do? Try to come in a way that I want to test your decision. Then the third season is the one that many people fear. The silent season. Now, the silent season is that moment of your life when the noise disappears. Your phone calls reduces. So if you used to get those phone calls every now and then, those phone call reduces. It is that season when the meetings become fewer, right? When the crowds become smaller, when your circle is growing thinner and thinner, smaller and smaller. The silent season is when you suddenly realize that life has slowed down for you. And in that moment, you are left with yourself. You are left with your thoughts. You are left with your character. You are left with your identity. And that is when the real question appears. Who are you when nobody is watching? The silent season. A moment where you are left with yourself. A moment where you are left with your identity. A moment where you are left with your character. You are left with your thoughts. And this is when the real question normally appears. That question is that question of who are you without nobody else, without someone, without those circles. So even as you build friendship, so as you build your circles, the story of Raphael Tuju should always remind you something. It should remind you about that power because the friendship, the circle that you have, they give you power. They give you power because you feel surrounded with people. And when you feel surrounded with people, you feel that you have the power. You are protected. But ask yourself, what happens, or not what happens, but who am I without anybody around me? Yeah? And for me, the big lesson from the story of Raphael Tuju, the story of Raphael Tuju today reminds us of something very important. It reminds us that power can gather people around you. It reminds us that even if power can gather people around you, Power cannot guarantee who will stay with you. It only gathers people around you when you have it, but it doesn't guarantee who will stay with you. The story of Raphael Tuju also reminds us that influence can attract followers. It does. We've seen this with celebrities. But one thing about it is that influence cannot guarantee loyalty. You can have power, the power will gather people around you, but that power doesn't guarantee who will stay with you when actually you don't have that power. You can have influence. That influence will attract followers. But one thing that influence cannot do, it cannot guarantee loyalty. Again, the story of Raphael Tuju reminds us that titles can open doors, but titles cannot build character. It can open doors, yes, but it cannot build characters. Titles can give you opportunities, right? Because you are the president, because you are the CEO, it's gonna open doors for you. It's gonna give you opportunity to interact with big people and all that. But one thing that is not going to do, it's not going to build your character. And what did we say? We said that at the end of the day, the silent season, the season that most people fear, that is the time that you are left alone with your character, the time that you are left with your identity. So if your title cannot build your character, then you need to build that character without that title. When you have it, ask yourself, who am I without this title? And this is why every person that is climbing the ladder of success, must understand something. And we talk about ladder of success. Everybody who is growing, be it in school, be it in your career, be it in your business, be it everywhere. Everybody who is climbing that success ladder. You need to understand something. Do not build your life only around power. Build your life around purpose. Does your life have a purpose? Purpose is the character. Purpose is built with your character. It's built with your identity. It's built with yourself, not with power. Do not build your identity around your position. Let not people identify you with your position. Build your identity around your character. Do not build your life around power. Build it with what? Build it around purpose. Do not build your identity around your position, but build your identity around your character. Remember the silent season. This is a season where you'll be left with your character. You'll be left with your identity. So if you build your identity around your position is temporary. Your position is power. What did we say? Power is not owned. Power is borrowed. Because position change, but character remains. Power goes, your identity remains. So what do? Build your life around purpose, not around power. Build your identity around character, not around position. Your position will change. Today you are up, the next day you are low. What remains with you is your character, because it's your character that is going to make you move from your fall and rise again. Then there is a personal truth that I've learned from this story of Raphael Tuju. I'll call it a personal truth. That if we are honest with ourselves, this lesson is not just about politicians. I want to say this again and again. This lesson is not about leaders, maybe somebody in a leadership role. This lesson is for all of us. And the lesson that I've picked from this story is that Some friendship exists because of convenience. So, can you take a time of personal reflection and think about your friendship? Think about your friends and ask yourself, am I friends with so and so because it's convenient to me or convenient to them? Because some friendship exists because of convenience. Some connection exists because of opportunity. We are only connected because somebody have seen opportunity from me. People are connected with you because they have seen opportunities. I've also learned the third lesson, that some relationships exist because of usefulness. That there is a relationship between me and another person, there is a relationship between you and another person because you are useful to them at that time. Because when that usefulness disappears, some relationship disappear too. It is the painful truth. It is the painful truth. But it is also liberating truth. It is a liberating truth. Why is it a liberating truth for me? It is a liberating truth because once you understand this, that there are connections that are existing because of opportunities, that there are relationships that exist because of usefulness, yeah, you will stop pleasing everyone. Yes, it's a painful truth that when your usefulness disappears, most of your relationship will disappear too. However much that is painful, it is also a liberating truth. It is a painful truth and it is also a liberating truth, because when you understand this, you are going to stop pleasing everyone. When you stop trying to, you will stop trying to hold on to people who are never meant to stay. Sometimes you see them and you ignore. Like they show you that character that this person clearly is just here because I'm useful to them. So the moment you stop trying to hold on to people who are just there for convenience and you start focusing on building yourself, then you are not going to regret anything. You need to start focusing on building yourself each and every day. And building yourself here, we are talking about building your identity without the title, building your character without that power. You need your mind. You need to build your values. You need to grow your mind. You need to build your resilience, because at the end of the day, today you might have so many followers. You might have so many people you're calling your friends. But wait until the usefulness, the power that you're holding today is gone. My final thought is that as you climb the ladder of success, remember this. As you are living, as you are growing, always remember this. Number one, power will come, influence may come, opportunities will come, people will gather, crowds will cheer. But never forget the one person who will walk with you through every season of life: yourself. I repeat, as you live every day, as you climb the ladder of success, always remember that power will come, people will gather, crowds will cheer you, opportunities will come, influence will come your way. But never forget that one person who will walk with you through every season of your life. And you want to know that person? That person is yourself. So, what am I telling you? As an individual, you, the person who will always walk with you through every season, right? Invest in your growth. Invest in your wisdom. Very important. Invest in your character. What defines you? Because when the applause fades, when the power shifts, when the noise disappears, you must still be strong enough to stand. And here, think of standing alone when necessary, because you are remaining with yourself. Think of standing alone when necessary. Above all, the most important thing, always remember that you are on your own. Those seasons will come. You'll be influential. You'll have everything. You'll have friends. But at the end of the day, you are on your own. Thank you for joining me today on this episode. As usual, we have here at Success Ladder, we have conversations that inspire the world. And sometimes we also hit you with brutality, yeah, honesty, without covering anything. So mine is to thank you, but always remember at the end of the day, you are on your own. Those power, you can have all those power, you can have the influence, but when they are gone, you remain with yourself. So work on building your identity. Work on building your character. Grow your mind, grow your resilience. Even in tough times, you'll always be resilient. You can always fall, but be rest assured that you'll rise again. My name is Paul Bryan, and this is Success Ladder Podcast.